All right, so to go on an appointment or to not go on the appointment. I want to talk about that in today's episode. So here's kind of how I see this. And they're like everything else in life. There are pros and cons. There's ups and downs to both arguments. And so there's one side of the camp who says, man, oh man, you should not be going on any appointments unless you qualify. You're only going on an appointment unless it's 100% pre-qualified. Then there's another camp who says, well, go on as many appointments as you can, qualified or not. And in my experience, this is not theory, but in practical real life, there's probably an argument for both. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. So let's start off with the argument, and we'll look at the pros and cons of each. We'll look at the ups and downs of each. And then at the end, I'll kind of give you my take on this topic. So to go on every single appointment when there's an opportunity to go on an appointment, whether it's qualified or not, I want to focus on that one first. So the argument for doing something like that is this. As we'll call it a new real estate salesperson starts prospecting for the first time, they start having conversations with people that they are uncomfortable having. The thought of them taking the opportunity to go and meet with a homeowner face to face versus not, for a new salesperson, it's my position that I think it makes more sense for that person to take that opportunity. There are more upsides to them taking that opportunity versus not. I think there are downsides to them not taking that opportunity. So the way I look at that is, okay, I can go on the appointment. What are the pros of going on the appointment? Well, the pros of going on that appointment, whether it's qualified or not, is for most people, they are a lot more comfortable talking with another human being face to face versus over the telephone. So a lot of people, you might find yourself in this category too, saying, I'm fine when I get face to face. There's no problem when I get face to face. It's just the damn phone that that causes all the problems. So that's the upside. Another upside is that agent gets to see real property, talk to real prospects that are considering selling their home. So they start to get to know the marketplace. They start to build their confidence. They start to have meaningful conversations outside of the world of practice, because a lot of them probably are role playing, hopefully, and working on their skills, which is great. But it allows them to get in the game and play at game speed. And so there's a lot of upside to that. Now, the counter argument to that might be this, and I guess this is where I think it is complicated. It's not black or white like a lot of people make it out to be. The downside or the counter argument to an agent going on an appointment that is unqualified is the opportunity cost, is the drive time to this appointment. I'm going to drive to this appointment, and if it's not qualified and it doesn't turn into anything, could I have gotten a different opportunity, a better appointment, had I stayed at my office and continued to prospect? Well, in theory, yeah, probably. But the problem with that theory is this. It assumes that the agent has a commitment to additional prospecting. In other words, this is the way I explain it. If an agent is going to have 10, 20, 30, we'll call it 30 conversations a day, that's one thing. But if an agent's only having 5 or 10 conversations a day, well, the chances of them finding a high quality opportunity is very, very low. It's going to take a long time for them to find a high highly motivated, highly qualified appointment. One that someone might argue, okay, that is a qualified listing appointment. We see ratios all over the place depending on skill set, but for a new real estate agent, it might take them 150 or 200 contacts to go on one highly qualified listing appointment. And for the agent, let's just do the math. I'm in no hurry here. This is not TikTok. So if you don't have the attention span to listen to a full podcast episode, go check out TikTok. I'm not on there. So 5 contacts a day, right? So we'll just say 200 contacts divided by 5. So it's going to take that person a month and a half, 2 full months, call it 20 working days in a month, to find themselves at one listing opportunity. The problem then becomes most don't have the staying power to do something for 2 full months, day in, day out, and not getting any type of positive reinforcement that what they're doing is working. So that agent, the argument is that agent would be better off, who's only having 5, 6, 7 conversations a day. They would be better off going to see somebody, because if they find a prospect who invites them to their property for a face-to-face meeting and they continue that strategy, that person probably will find themselves getting more business than not taking any face-to-face appointments until they find a highly qualified appointment. In other words, I would rather someone do 5 conversations a day and go on 10, call it preview appointments face-to-face, versus going on 1 listing appointment every 2.5 months, because we have to talk about listing appointment conversion. Now, people throw out all kinds of BS with their listing appointment conversions. Here's what I know. In working with thousands of new real estate agents and thousands of experienced real estate agents, you probably, and I'm going to be, this will be more than fair, but we'll call it a 50% conversion. So the agent that's going on 1 listing presentation every 2.5 months, so they go on, it takes them 4 months, 5 months to get 1 listing because they're going on 1 appointment. That person gets 2 listings a year on that model. Whereas if he or she's doing 5 conversations a day, which allows them to go on 10 preview appointments a month, the conversion I see on that model is that of those 10, usually 35% will turn into an actual listing appointment. So if they go on 10 and at 35%, in 6 to 8 weeks, that will turn into 3 listing appointments. So if you take the same amount of time, 60 days, the agent that takes the face-to-face appointments, although call it 7 out of 10 aren't qualified, nothing will happen, be a complete waste of time, they will be able to present and earn, at least get an opportunity to get 3 listings. And let's call it if they convert 1. So that's that side of the argument. Now, the other side of the argument is, well, we're only going to go on appointments when they are highly qualified. Ideally, yes. In theory, yes. For the agent that is 100% committed to daily prospecting with a unwavering focus and discipline to have 30, 40, 50 conversations a day, for sure, that person can probably find 1 solid listing appointment per day. Why? Yes, they have more opportunities, but more importantly, because of how many reps they're getting, their skills get really good really fast. So that agent starts to set 1 listing appointment for every 50 conversations. Quickly, they will probably, and this is what I've seen with some agents that I've coached, is they can quickly get that ratio, contact to listing appointment set, under 20, because they have so many reps that their skills increase so fast. And so for that agent, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. There is some real opportunity cost for that agent to leave their desk where they're making all their money, making phone calls, to go and meet with a prospect that is absolutely not qualified. It doesn't make a lot of business sense for that agent to go on that appointment. But for the new person to kind of go back, it absolutely, in my opinion, does. And so my recommendation is this. As you are building your business, if you're newer to real estate sales, that you take every face-to-face opportunity that you can get for the first 30, 60, maybe 90 days. Then you transition into more of a qualified appointment strategy while you are building your confidence, while you're building a pipeline, while you're building some prospecting stamina, we'll call it. Because you're going to have a lot more conversations than 5 a day in order to get one solid listing appointment per day. You want to do that until you reach a model that looks similar to this, where you can maybe set 5 highly qualified listing appointments per week. You maybe go on 3 or 4 of those per week. You will cancel some will cancel on you, fine. You go on the best of the 5 that you set, so call it 3 appointments per week, and you come out of there with 1 or 2 really solid listings per week. That's the model you want to get to. And when I say solid, I'm talking about sellers that have high motivation, that price the property correctly, that agree to the right terms, that have flexibility around what it's going to take to get the property sold. These aren't sellers that are just, hopeful. Let's put it on some ridiculous price and hopefully we get some ridiculous buyer to give us some ridiculous price. We're not in that market anymore. We're in a professionals market. And that would be my recommendation. So I'm curious, a lot of you probably go back and forth with this. Do I take the appointment? Do I not take the appointment? I am curious to hear from you. What are you finding works better for you? Are you finding that, hell, if I get in front of more people, it works better for me, qualified or not? Or some of you say, nope, it works better for me where I have more contacts, less appointments, but the appointments I go on are highly qualified, and that works better for me. Let me know what your thoughts are and what your feedback is.